All right. Um, so I have no idea what I'm doing. Um, I am the belated coder. I'm starting a very late journey into programming. I venture myself as being basically new, just a babe, a sweet summer child. But it's not that I'm totally unfamiliar. I've had to dabble before in like just doing small things like in a shell script or in Groovy or, you know, whatever. But I started out middle and high school with programming classes. I did web development, post high school for a few years. Um, and then I stopped coding and kind of been on around the development world, doing SCM, source configuration management. So building the code, deploying the code, managing the code, um, to now supporting tools that developers use to code. So not fully DevOps as you would know it in this current day and age, but SCM, the precursor or the process side of DevOps. But we still managed the code bases and the environments and the build servers and things of that nature. So, you know, I had to compile the code and look at stack traces and stuff like that. But coding, actually, like, would I call myself a programmer? No. Would I say I could program? No. Um, Again, I've actually haven't had any, not necessarily formal training or whatever. But anyway, I'll stop the blabbing. I am um, getting started. I wanted to uh, get going and learn some back end and stuff like that. And so I've been doing boot dev, back end development path. And so we started with Python. I completed Python and actually doing this with a buddy. So we've kind of worked the sessions together, which is really helpful. They laugh at me when I write, and then also when you're writing, right, you get extra nervous of people looking at it. But got through this. It's pretty good. It's a nice course. You actually get the right code and figure things out. It's pretty cool. Then I just completed these shells and terminals. I already knew shells and terminals and Git. I manage and support Git on a day-to-day basis at my job. So now we're both working on the build a bookbot, but there's lots more stuff to do in boot.dev. Um, so going through this, I can, comparing myself to when I first started, I'm certainly better, but I'm still trash. Um, I'm constantly mixing things up, so I really need to practice and get the concepts down and experience and whatnot. So this has been, really fun to do, and I can't wait to get through all of these, the rest of this, and then we learn Go. And at some point, I want to circle back and begin learning C, but I figure Python would be a good start. And I can also use Python in my daily job. Um, so I'm just recording here because I want to start this. I picked this up. What did I pick this up? Um, this is from a series of projects. Build your own X code crafters. So I got it from this repo of different projects and things to learn. Because one of my problems is when trying to find projects, a lot of them, I haven't looked everywhere, right? But a few of them I've seen are like, um, and this may be the same if I look at it. Um, yeah, it probably is. So we can use this as an answer sheet. But um, I want more of an explanations to tell me and what to how things should be done or what I should be thinking about, and not give me the coding solution. But I don't think you'll find those too often. But anyway, I figured I would start with this, and one of the projects was write yourself a Git. Double bonus for me. I already know Git, but I don't know Git because there's a lot to Git. There's a lot to Git. And but I support Git on a daily basis. So I end up working with a lot of admins and our developers and Git, and when I run into Git issues, but I don't use Git like that, you know? So it's not like I actually have in practice. Of course you can, I know how to commit um, and squash and rebase and all that good stuff. But there's a lot to get behind the scenes and under the hood, right? Um, that it does, and understanding like the different things that it does, the porcelain and plumbing commands, what they are, how Git GC works, criteria that it uses to determine when it does garbage collection, what are loose objects and refs and all that good stuff. So I have some modicum of understanding, but there's a lot more to it. For example, I just learned how to use Google Worktree, or not Google Worktree, Git Worktree, to manage multiple work trees in the same instance. So instead of, working in instead of stashing your code from a branch, you can use Worktree to manage multiple working trees, right? So you can just create a new working tree if you need to switch to a different branch to do a hotfix for, let's say, and you want to stash your existing changes. Well, creating a new work tree is great because it allows you to do that. So this is, great functionality. You can have multiple branches and being active, and you don't have to worry about git stash and losing changes and all that good stuff. So super cool. Like, I just learned that. Anyway, I don't know what to do. I figure I'll just record myself for posterity's sake, and to look at and laugh at myself maybe a year from now, as I try to resume my very lofty goal that I told my programming teacher in high school. I was like, I was going to write my own operating system. And then I stopped coding right after that, pretty much. So now we're back to it. And I'm starting from scratch. So as I'm doing this project with a buddy, and then we're just going to work our way through. He's refreshing himself, and I'm learning. So I'm kind of starting from scratch, and he's doing a refresher. So with that, I figured I also want to do another project. What are some projects I can do? And writing yourself a Git seems like an interesting one because I can learn Git while learning Git and creating my own Git. And so it has, I'll be able to learn and apply it to my job, of deepening my knowledge even more with Git. And I will create a learning programming experience. So I'm going to suffer through this. You're going to laugh at me because I don't have any freaking idea what I'm doing. And even though I got through this in Python, like I still mess stuff up. Very basic things. So, but that's part of learning, right? You fail and you learn from it. Okay. I don't know what to say or do. This is probably going to be boring, but thank you anyway for even if you got this far. So I want to write my own Git. Let's see what the introduction says. I'll try to include a link to this in the description of the video. So we have our intro, getting started, create repositories in it. Ref tags, and hell, if you want to, you can probably go along with me, because it's probably going to be a long series of videos since I'm a noob. Uh, this may take someone, I don't know how long this takes. Let's say this may take someone like 3 hours. It's probably going to take me 36 hours to do. So, okay. All right. So, and just to, why did it go to Fugitive? I didn't want it to go to CD development. See, because of my job, I keep I always have the Git source code installed. And as you can see, I also have Linux source code installed. So useful in my job, but I still don't know it. All right. It's an attempt to explain Git version control from the bottom up, starting at the most fundamental level and moving up. Okay. No, don't run. I won't, I promise. If you read this article top to bottom and write the code, or just download it as a zip, you should write the code yourself, really. Yes, I want to do that. You'll end up with a program called YAG that will implement all the fundamental features of Git, init, add, rm, status, commit, log in a way that is perfectly compatible with Git itself. Compatible enough that the commit, finally adding this section on commits, was created by YAG itself and not Git. Write yourself. Oh, okay. That's what it means. Let me reread that. In a way that's perfect, compatible with Git. Compatible enough that the commit finally adding the section on commits was created by. Okay. And all that is exactly 989 or 988. I'll watch videos of people reading stuff and they're supposed to be reading it verbatim, and then they insert words and stuff that's quite literally not on the screen. And I'm like, the hell are you doing? And I just did that. And you're going to have to bear with my ADHD. Hopefully I'll stay on track. In exactly 988 lines of very simple Python code. Lies. All right, so first draft of commit section. Commit created from YAG. We create and write trees. Okay. Write yourself a Git. Make all. Learn Git by re-implementing it from scratch. And that's what I'm on. Okay. And we'll draw on. All right. But isn't Git too complex for that? Git is complex in my opinion. A misconception. Git is a large program with a lot of features. That's true. But the core of that program is actually extremely simple, and its apparent complexity stems first from the fact it's often deeply counterintuitive, and Git is a burrito. Blog posts probably don't help. I don't know what this is. Abstraction, intuition, and the monad tutorial fallacy. Okay. But maybe that's what may get the most confusing, is the extreme simplicity and power of its core model. The combination of core simplicity and powerful applications often makes things really hard to grasp because of the mental jump required to derive the variety of applications from the essential simplicity of the fundamental abstraction. Monads, anyone? Implementing Git will expose its fundamentals in all their naked glory. Yes, some nakedness. What to expect? This article will implement and explain in great details. If something is not clear, please report it. A very simplified version of Git core commands. I will keep the code simple and to the point, so YAC won't come anywhere near the power of the real Git command line. But what's missing will be obvious and trivial to implement by anyone who wants to give it a try. Upgrading YAC to a full-feature Git library in CLI is left as an exercise to the reader, as they say. You know, that would be pretty cool. Because I would like to like create my own and then have something like lazy Git, you know, which is pretty cool. I just discovered this. I don't really know how to use it. I keep seeing it in everyone's setups, but I don't know how to use it. Never used it. Oops. And please forgive the typing. I got a Kinesis Advantage 360, and it's this is what I got. I switched to this from your normal keyboard, and not only is it been a little bit struggle to get used to from it being curved, the keys at being at different heights. I still haven't learned that. And it's also ortholinear, meaning the keys are all vertical instead of staggered. So that's also adds to the complexity. Furthermore, the keys are in different locations. So every now and then I have a glitch where my right thumb wants to hit enter, where I should use my thumb to hit enter, but I glitch out and my pinky reaches for enter on the old keyboard format, and I end up doing quote or colon instead. So if you see lots of typos, that's why. Okay, back to it. Where was I? Very simple. Okay, yes. Okay. So more precisely, we'll implement add. We'll do all this good stuff, and good, they link to the good Git manual pages. And also they link to the source where they have this. So we'll do all this good stuff. Very basic stuff. Okay. You're not going to need to know much to follow this article. Just some basic Git, obviously, some basic Python, some basic shell. That's it. This is going to be a cakewalk. First, I'm only going to assume some level of familiarity with the most basic Git commands, nothing like an expert level. Hold on. Oops. Okay. Some level of familiarity with basic Git commands, nothing like an expert level, but if you've never used, you will be lost. I've used those. Actually, I don't even use checkout. Who uses checkout? People use checkout. I don't use checkout. But again, I don't do development work like that. So I'm not working with multiple people. Oh well. Language-wise, YAC will be implemented in Python. Again, I won't use anything too fancy, and Python looks like pseudocode anyway. So it'll be easy to follow. Ironically, the most complicated part will be the command line arguments, parsing logic, and you don't really need to understand that. Yet if you know programming but have never done any Python, I suggest you find a crash course somewhere in the internet just to get acquainted with the language. YAC and Git are terminal programs. I like that. I assume you know your way inside a Unix terminal. Again, you don't need to be a lead hacker, but CD, ls, rm tree and their friends should be in your toolbox. Boo Windows. Actually, because you can see I'm using do I have this? Wait, did I install it on theirs? Yes. I'm using fast fetch. I couldn't remember, but I'm using Nobara Linux 39. I'm actually dual booting, and every time I boot this up, I have the urge to completely and utterly wipe the rest of Windows out. But I'm testing the games that I play to make sure it's all good. Anyway. Yeah. Is there anything else? Okay. Okay. GitHub. Okay. All right, let's get started. You're going to need a Python through 10. Well, I'm on through 12. We won't need third-party packages or virtual environments or anything else. We'll split the code into two files, an executable called YAG, a Python library called lib, YAG, Now, every software project starts with a boatload of boilerplate, so let's get this over with. We'll begin by creating the very short executable. Create a new file called YAG in your text editor and copy the following few lines. Okay, so actually, let me, I'm going to do this in reverse because I don't feel like doing this. La 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 la. Oops. Create repo YAG code. Okay. And what are we doing? Executable called YAG, a Python library called YAG. Create a new file called YAG in your text editor. .py, or it's just YAG. They didn't put an extension on it, so I'm just call it YAG. Okay. Okay. Now the library, it must be called libwag and be in the same directory. libwag.py. Okay. Bunch of imports, just copy each import or merge them all in a single line. Good as a CLI application, so we'll need something to parse command line arguments. Python provides a cool module called argparse that can do 99% of the job for us. Parser for command line options, arguments, and subcommands. The argparse module makes it easy to write user-friendly command line interfaces. The program defines what arguments it requires, and argparse will figure out how to parse those out of sysargv, which is the list of command line arguments passed to a Python script. argv0 is the script name. It is operating system dependent, whether this is the full path name or not. If the command was executed using the -c command line option to the interpreter, argv0 is set to the string -c. If no script name was passed to the Python interpreter, argv0 is the empty string. To loop over the standard input or the list of files given on the command line, see the file input. Okay. I know what this is. Got it. Um, the arc parser module was also automatically generates help and usage messages. The module will also issue errors when users give the program invalid arguments. Core functionality. I'm going to be doing this quite a lot to understand, like when they reference stuff like this, I'm going to scan to see what it is. I'm not going to remember it, but I'm going to scan to see what it is. Okay. It built around an instance of, okay, and has options that apply to the parser. Parser equals prog description, what the program does, epilogue, text at the bottom of help. Attaches individual argument specifications to the parser. It supports positional arguments, options that accepts values, and on-off flags. Okay. Import. Takes a list of integers and produces either the sum or the max. Python, and then these are the arguments that are going to be parsed. List of integers and produces either the sum or the max. Arc parse. Parser, parse, discussion process of integers. Add argument integers. Metavar equals n type integer and args plus help integer for the accumulator. Add argument. Okay. Sum. Okay. An integer accumulator. Okay. Back to it. Okay, so we just need to import arg parse. Oops, no. Oh, I keep hitting tab instead of in there. Import collections. Import config parser. Import import config parser. Then we're going to say from date time we want to import date time. Import grep and pwd for directory stuff. From fn match, is that file name? Yep, file name matching with shell patterns. Matches according to the local convention. Functions operate by translating pattern to a regular. Fn match. From that, we want to import fn match. Actually, oops, we don't want that. Stop. 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 There we go. FM match, import hash lab. Then from math, import cell. No. Import OS. Import import sys, import zlib. All right, all our wonderful imports. So let me read through each one. We need a few more container types than the base lib provides, most notably an ordered dictionary. It's in collections. Git uses a configuration file format that is basically Microsoft INI's format. The config parser module can read and write these files. We'll be doing some date time manipulation. We'll need just once to read the user group database. On Unix, group is for groups, for users. This is because Git saves the numeric owner group ID of files, and we want to display that nicely as text. To support Git ignore, we'll need to match file names against patterns like star.txt. Git uses SHA-H1 function quite extensively in Python. It's in a hash lib, so I take it that this would generate the hash that we need for the I'll return a hash object with the same simple interface. Common interface to many different secure hash and message digest algorithms, included are the FIPS secure hash. The term secure hash message. Okay. The byte. Okay. All right. Just one function for math. Provides, file system extraction routines. I think I just did this yesterday. In one of the boot dev projects, I had to actually do import of OS because we were using the open functionality to read the text file. It was the Frankenstein story, because we needed to count the words and characters in that story. And so I had to use the open. First time using the open to open that file in a while loop. So that was pretty cool, and I did not mean to skip. So, okay. Okay, our imports are done. We'll be working with command line arguments a lot. Python provides a simple yet reasonably powerful parsing library, argparse. It's a nice library, but its interface may not be the most intuitive ever. If needed, refer to its documentation. Yeah, we were reading through this, right? And I'll just keep that open. I'm gonna need it, probably. Argparser equals argparser.argument parser description, the stupidest content tracker. We'll need to handle subcommands as in git, init, commit, etc. In argparser slang, these are called subparsers. At this point, we only need to declare that our CLI will be using some, that all invocation will actually require one. You don't just call git, you call git command. Understandable. water break. I was a bit parched. It's the most I talk all week. Wait, do I put this in here? I'm assuming so. Like, um, yeah, so I guess I'm typing this in. Um, okay. And I'm assuming it's all to the live WWAG. I'm slow, so y'all gonna have to bear with me. Um, let me look. Where was it? Actually, right. Well, shit, that's not what I wanted. And make file. That's interesting. They put that. What? Okay. Okay. I'll just start writing the code. I'm slow. I need explicit instructions. I need explicit instructions. Okay, I'll just start writing it as we go. Man, I'll write it. Yeah. Copy work. Even when writing short stories, right? If you want to learn how to write, you simply reproduce. Right? Do I need title commands, best command, arc parser? So we're telling the subparser is a command that we need. So in this, this function is telling the arguments, arc parser, arc v, match case. So if it matches any of these, this is what it needs. And if not, then it's a bad command. And so this is telling that the casing. All right. So not to put essentially me about the most into if need. Okay. I'm just going to start writing this. I have no idea. It doesn't. It's okay. Let's go with it. So we're going to say arc parser. Wait, did I mistype that from earlier? No, it's arc parse. Okay. Yeah. So arc parser equals arc parse dot argument parser. dot argument parser, and then we want argument parser description equals the stupid content tracker. Okay. And we'll need to handle subcommands as in get init command and argparselang subparsers. So we're going to say arg subparsers equals argparser. Make a call back to that. Add subparsers title equals commands, and dest equals command. Arg subparsers dot required equals true. So let's see. We'll at this point we will only need to declare that our CLI will use some, and that all invocation will actually require one. Right. Yep. So we're saying that we require subparsers. The destination equals command. Argument states that the name of the chosen subparser will be returned as a string in a field called command. Okay, so we just need to read the string and call the correct function accordingly. By convention, I'll call these functions bridges functions and prefix their name by cmd underscore. Bridge functions take the parsed arguments as their unique parameter and are responsible for processing and validating them before executing the actual command. Okay, we're going to take a break. It's not going to be a 5-minute break, but I need to stand up and move around. We are back. A nice 1-minute break to stretch, and we will get started with our next session. All right. So, bridge functions take the parsed arguments as their unique parameter and are responsible for processing and validating them. Okay. So, I will manually type all of this out. Def main it's not doing all of that. Def main argv equals argv equals sys.argv. Yeah, 1. And I do agree. If I'm doing any like writing, and sometimes you want to study the greats, and how they write prose. And even if it's not fiction writing, it can be copy writing, as in writing marketing copy. And you want to know how to do it, how they write. Doing copy work, the act of quite literally copying what they write, is extremely beneficial because it makes you engage more with the text that's written. And a nice practice that you can do with it is read a sentence and then try to reproduce it from memory in copy work, and then compare why you instinctively chose certain words that they didn't choose, and kind of ponder the difference between it. Now, obviously, this is different, right? You get much more out of, even though it has the entire answer here, and it's easy to just copy and paste it. There is benefit if I can compare to writing in that sense. There is benefit to starting under the R's. There is benefit to actually doing this by hand. Okay. Okay, case cat file. And then we're going to say cat under file args. Okay. I'm calling args. Case check ignore. I don't think I've ever used that command, check ignore. Check ignore. I've never used that. I don't even know what that does in Git. CMD check underscore ignore. And then we want args. Oops. Case checkout. Commit. Oops. Hash, oops, hash object. Hash object args. Case init. Case, wait, init. And then log. CMD. Oh gosh. Init. Wait, no. Log. ls files like for instance, one of the things I'm wondering is even though the command has a dash in it, I just noticed this on the ref parse and didn't notice it on cat file, is that we do an underscore. And I wonder if that's for a particular reason. Did ref parse and now rm. Args case show ref. Status. Tag. Tag args. Oh no, just simply an underscore. Underscore. Okay, after. Okay. And then we're going to print bad command. Okay. Look at all that. Oh my God. All right. So actually, it's really good to do that. Okay. Creating repositories in it. The first thing to initialize repo. Obviously, the first git command in chronological and logical order is git init. So we'll begin by creating yag init. I know when I'm done, I'm going to refactor yag to something else. But anyway, to achieve this, we're going to first need some very basic repository abstraction. The repository object will obviously need some abstraction for a repository almost every time we run a git command. We're trying to do something to a repository, to create it, read from it, or modify it. Git repository is made of two things: a work tree, with the files meant to be in version control lib, and a git directory, where git stores its own data. In most cases, the work tree is a regular directory, and the git directory is a child directory of the work tree called .git. It supports much more cases, bare repos, separated git dir, but we won't need them. We'll stick the basic approach of work tree / .git. Our repository object will then just hold two paths, the work tree and the git dir. To create a new repository object, we only need to make a few checks. We must verify that the directory exists and contains a subdirectory called .git. We read its configuration, the .git config. It's just an INI file, and control that repository format version is 0. More on that field in a moment. Yeah, because I'm curious as to what that actually means. I don't know what this is. Have I seen this? Maybe I've never seen it, or I've never specifically looked for it. Anyway, the constructor takes an optional force, which disables all checks. That's because the repo create function, which we'll create later, uses a repository object to create the repo. So we need a way to create a repository even from still invalid file system locations. Okay. So this is the code to do that. We're going to create a class called getRepository. Define worktree getDir.conf, and then the function getInit. Force false. Self worktree. Join dot ospath join path dot get. So this will be from whatever the current working directory is. If not, force or ospath or self-dir. Raise exception, not a get repository. Reconfiguration file. Self-conf equals config parser repo file self if clf if repo file if repo file and os file exists, then read it. Else if not, then force reads configuration file missing. If not, force repository format unsupported. Okay. We're going to be manipulating lots of paths and repositories. We may as well create a few utility functions to compute those paths and create missing directory structures if needed. First, just a general path building function. Compute path under repo getdir. Okay, so let's go ahead and create this to verify that the directory exists and contains subdirectory called .get. We read its configuration. It's just ini. Okay, so let's go ahead and we'll type out this entire class. If you're doing this, resist the temptation to cut and paste. Type with me. Get those fingers working. Plus, it's practice for me on this keyboard. I've been avoiding the monkey type, key practice. So, and then a get repository. I'm going to say work tree equals none. Get dir equals none. I like the way you do that right there. Equals none. And then let's create our function. Wait. Def snippet. I don't want that one. Wait, class method. Def class method. Def abstract class method. Def path, def snippet. Is this 2 underscores? Init. Is that not how? What is? How's it? Is it? Does it not? So if I just, yeah, okay. Let's see. Self dot work tree equals path self.getDir equals os.path.join. If not, force or os.path.isDir self.getDir raise exception. Now I've done very little, some introduction to exceptions and try catches. I need to play with those more, obviously. And then percent path. And we're gonna oops, and get config. So then we're gonna do self.conf equals config parser dot config parser then cf, and we define, cf is going to be the repo file within self config. So we're defining what that is, cf, and then we're going to see if the config file actually exists, and exists cf. And then if it does, we're going to read it. Read and parse a file name or iterable file names. We're going to read it. Else, we're not going to force, and we're going to raise an exception. Configuration file missing. And then if not force, we're going to set verse to an integer. Our version is an integer. Conf.get, and we're going to get that from we're gonna get that from the file. Let's see, get core. Repository format version. And so if that version is not not equal to 0, we're going to raise exception. I'm going to say repository format version oops, percent s. In that, and then we're gonna say percent verse. Oops. All right. I have some semblance of idea of what that is. We're going to manipulate lots of paths. So we're going to create. So is this, yeah, I guess it's within the same class. So let's create it here. So we're going to create this function, I guess, that we can reuse to calculate the paths. Compute path under repos getter dot and then we're going to return os.path dot join repo dot getter and then path. Okay. Okay, a note on Python syntax, the star, thank you, because I was wondering what that was. The star on the path makes the function variadic, so it can be called with multiple path components as separate arguments. For example, repo path, repo objects, df is a valid call. The function receives path as a list. Okay. The two next functions, repo file and repo dir, return and optionally create a path to a file or a directory respectively. The difference between them is that the file version only creates directories up to the last component. Didn't mean to do that, but we're going to take a little 1 minute break and walk around. All right, we're going to now continue on. Okay. All right, the second and last note on syntax, because the star in path makes the functions variadic, the make dir argument must be passed explicitly by name. For example, make dir equals, okay. And okay, so then let's do this. We're going to create our two functions, repo file, but create dir name path if absent. For example, repo file refs remotes origin head will create get refs remotes origin. Okay. Okay, so let's get it started. So def repo file repo. Then we have to pass this in because we're using star path, which makes it variadic. Okay, same as repo path, but creator name if absent for example repo underscore file are refs remotes after remotes slash origin comma head paren will create dot get refs remotes origin dot 1 2 3 okay. We create dot refs origin. So if repo directory path, and then we're looking, we're going to go backwards. Okay, the hell did I just type? -1. Make dir equal make dir. Then we're going to return repo path. Repo star path. So then we're going to create a new function, def repo dir. We're going to say repo path dir equals false. Okay, save. All right. Same as repo path. Same as repo path, but mcdir star path if absent if mcdir dot. And so then we say path is repo path repo path. Then we do if that path exists. Then the second one, if os.path.isDir path return the path. Oops. Whoa, 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 whoa. Wait. Is there path? Then return path. Then we say else raise an exception, not a directory. And then we tell what it is. %path. Then if make dir, we do a make dirs path, and we return path else return none. Let's save that. All right. Okay, right. Slight distraction back. All right, so we just got that all out with those two functions. This is giving me all sorts of errors, and I don't care. Intimidating, but whatever. Okay. So what next? So we got that done for creating for the repo file and directory. So we have that done. Now we're going to create another function for actually creating the repository at that path. So continuing with the initialization. So to create a new repository, we start with a directory, which we create if it doesn't already exist, and create the git repository inside. always start with a directory which we create if it doesn't already exist. Create the Git directory inside, which must not exist already or be empty. That directory is called .git. Right. So if we're going to create if we're doing a init, that can't exist or it has to be empty. Okay. And so then we have all our good normal stuff in there. So, okay. So let's create it. And then we also, it looks like we create the config file with some basic things. And then we're going to create, now that we have code to read and create repositories, let's make this code usable from the command line by creating the YAG init command. Just like git init with much less customizability. Of course, the syntax is going to be, okay. I can't wait to do this. This is this is super exciting. This is super exciting. Oh my gosh, this is so exciting. Not like, I know I'm not like creating this from like scratch, like the mental, just sitting here with a blank canvas, like, all right, let me just go ahead and create Git, and figuring all of this out, what I need to create and stuff separately. But this is still fucking cool. Okay. Must contain excitement. Okay. And then like maybe later also you can hear my keyboard. That's cool. Let me know if you continue to watch and if you got this far. I mean, thank you. But again, like this is more so, I guess, for me, really, to make sure that I'm practicing and getting it in. But that said, I can definitely set up a camera setup if you want to see the keyboard on the screen as I'm typing, with my fingers. You let me know, or if not, this is cool. Or maybe I should actually get a little plug-in. Well, you can see what I'm typing, so you probably don't need to actually see the keys pop up on the monitor. But I'm curious if you can put like a mini virtual keyboard. Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. Anyway, so let's continue. Actually, I need to take a small break. Actually, we're going to skip this and we're going to take a quick small break. I'm still here, but I need to take care of something that popped up. hydrate. Back to it. All right, let's see. Okay. So we're going to create a new function. Oh. We're going to repo create at the path. And we're going to leave a documentation. So we're going to say repo equals get repository path true. First we make sure the path either doesn't exist or is an empty dir. So we make sure it doesn't exist or it's an empty dir. So if the OS path exists, exist repo.worktree, if not OS path is dir repo.worktree. If OS path not is dir worktree, we raise an exception that says that the directory, or that this is not a directory. That this is not a directory. Percent path. If the OS path exists, repo.getDir and os.listdir repo getdir colon os listdir raise exception must be the same, and we're gonna say the it's not empty. Then percent path is not empty. Actually, there's too much. Wait, go back one, else colon os.makeDirs repo.worktree. And then we do an assert. What does I didn't mean to click that. Assignment statements. Okay. To insert debugging assertions into a program. Simple form, assert expression is equivalent to if not expression, raise assertion error. Extended form of assert. Okay. That probably wasn't what I wanted to read. Anyway, insert repo dir repo branches, comma, make dir equals true. I think I did one too many. Okay, repo, and then we want objects. I can't J. Res tags and okay, then we want res heads, res heads, gets description with the repo file open, with open repo file, repo description, W W as if what was oh my god, what was that movie name? As if Alicia Silverstone. I'm showing my age. Clueless. Classic. Okay. Wait, where am I? Okay. And then we're going to do we're going to write to the file. See, I'm learning all of those sorts of stuff. Could I reproduce it? No, but I'll know that I did something similar. And then I can go to code that I had where I did a thing and copy and paste. To name the to name the repository. Yeah, I guess we don't care, and then we're gonna create a new line. And then oops. And we're gonna close it out. And why is it doing that? Okay. Oops. And this one is going to be .get head for the head. And we're going to say with open repo underscore file repo head comma say w as f dot write refs heads master. I'll change that to main later, but I'll see what else this does. Paren. Okay. And then the last one with open repo underscore file repo config w as elf colon. We're going to set config to the repo default, and then we're going to create that one afterwards, default config. So and then we're going to write it. And then we're going to return, because we need to return the output. Let's do another space. All right, so now we actually need to create the template, the function that it's going to call and use for the default configuration. And we're going to set this equals config parser dot config parser. What? Oh. Go shorty, it's your birthday. Config parser. Config parser, then ret dot add dot underscore section, and we're going to add core to the text, and then we're going to set core. Then we're going to set the repository format version, and that's going to be set to 0. And then we're going to, that's still core. Then this is file mode. Oops, go back. Then this is file mode foes. Wait. Then wait, what's that? Bear false. Shit, I can't type. oops. The struggle. And then we're going to return ret. Save. Oh my gosh. Okay. So this is us creating a file because we called it here. And so we said that the config, right, that we're using is this function's return output. And so we just created this function and we're returning it. So whatever the output of this is gets picked up here and set to this variable. And then we write that. So cool. Okay. Now we get to the init command. Now that we have code to read and create repositories, let's make this code usable. From the command line, by creating the yag init command, behaves just like git init with much less customizability. I don't know why I'm struggling with that. The syntax of yag git is going to be yag init path. We already have the complete repository creation logic. To create the command, we're only going to need two more things. We need to create an argparse subparser to handle our command's argument. Okay, so we're going to create that. Shouldn't this be at the top with our other arg parser stuff? Wait, arg sp equals arg subparsers dot add underscore parser, and then we're gonna say init, and then we're gonna add a help, initialize a new empty repository. In case of init, there's a single optional positional argument. The path where to init repo defaults to period. So I'm still going to add that here, and I'm going to say args p add argument path, comma, and then we're going to say metavar equals directory, nargs equals question mark, default equals period, as in period poo, help equals where to create a repository. I'm not going to repeat that. The repository, where to create it. Save. We also need a bridge function that will read argument values from the object returned by argparser and call the actual function with correct values. And that's what this does, which we're going to say def command init args def command emit args colon repo, and then we're going to call repo create args.path. Okay. Oops. Save. What do you mean? Did we not have a repo create in here before? You serious? Yeah, there it is right there. What are you talking about? You can't. No, that's the class name. But oh, we're that's the function name, not class. Oh, so yeah, we're calling that function. Okay, and we're done. You followed these steps. You should now be able to init a Git repository anywhere. YAG init test. We're gonna save this. Is that true? Can I YAG anywhere? That's probably not, because I need to call the YAG init. Wait. Obviously you can't YAG here. What was the name? What was the name of my directory before? YAG. So I'm a YAG init test. So we're gonna go to test 1, and I'm going to say YAG init hold on. Let's go back. Oops, let's go back. Because we don't need to go back a directory, and we're going to say test, because I actually don't have a test folder here. I forgot a comma. Invalid syntax. In args. What? In nargs. Did I? Oh, I did forget a comma. Why didn't y'all tell me I forgot a comma? Why didn't y'all tell me I forgot a comma? Wait, where? Okay, I did forget a comma. Afterwards, comma. So many damn errors on the screen. Now we're gonna save that, and now let's try again. No. Unexpected character after line continuation. Unnamed repository. Unnamed repository / period. Oh, because I ended the quotes. Oh my god, I fail so much at typing. Okay, so we want named. Okay. And delete that. Save. So then, did you mean F and what? Okay. F from F and match import F. I did mean F and match. F and match import, and I did mean F and match. F and match, and we did not have. Oops. and we did not have, no, we did not have that FN imported, but okay, import FN match. So we're going to save, I'm going to repeat, and we're going to do it again. Did I mean arg parse? Args equal arg parser? Did I mean arg parser? Args equal arg parse? I questioned that earlier, didn't I? Args equals arg parse? Wait. Args equals. Oh, wait. Arg parer? Okay, hold on. I obviously missed some stuff. Let's arg parser dot parse. Okay. So let's go here. Then arg parse. Okay. Arg parser equals arg parse. Don't know how I missed that. Arg parsers. Args equal arg parser. Args equal arg parser dot parse args. Oh, because I couldn't call the arg parser because I didn't even name it arg parser. So we're going to save that. How about we clean that? Arg subparsers dot add parser. Arg. I am just riddled with typos for supposedly copying word for word. Huh. Okay, wait. Name arg parser is not found. Did I mean arg parser? Yes, because I keep forgetting to arg subparsers dot add parser. Arg. SP, arg subparsers, arg subparsers, arg subparsers, arg par. Yep. Arg par is not found. After. Is not defined. Name error track. Oh, should I add that at the bottom? Command init repo create. I should add that at the bottom and not the top, huh? Should I? Or does that not even matter? See, I don't know what I'm doing. Name error. File repo create is not found. What you mean you not found? You're there. Repo default config. So should I just add that completely to the bottom of this class? Was it this? I don't think that's going to matter, but command init is not defined. Line 4, line 36. Wait. Line 4. In so we have the, okay, we have the main. And that's interesting. Repo, the init command lag init. That will read argument values from the object returned by. Maybe I just need to, let's see. But that's outside the, oh wait, should that? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Unexpected indent def, yeah. Because it should not be inside the class like I was thinking. Repo create is not, oh, because maybe it should be, oh, should these all be part of the class and not separate outside? That's my mistake. My mistake. So let's try that. As part of the class. But if I do that, it's complaining. command init is not defined. Name error. What? I couldn't have missed anything. Case init is command init. cmd underscore init args we don't and the only other mention is the command init args. We set what the command is, and that when we pass init, this is going to be the argument from the main function. And so then, but this is going to exist within the class. That's going to exist in the class. This should take self. Because we can see, those are only two mentions of it in the code. Is that command underscore init. I know y'all probably laughing at me right now. It's cool, it's cool. I'll figure it out someday. But I can't run yag init, a git repository anywhere. I can't run it because it's complaining that instance should take a self parameter. I don't even know how self works. I haven't encountered that. I see we used it like in the init function. We used it here, but myself, I don't know what self does. Someone told me and I forgot what it was. But anyway, we have command init, cmd init is not defined. None of these are defined. And we didn't define any of them. yag source. And so we created the parser. But why is that red? Use dash instead of what? I don't know what is this args p. We define that. Add parser. Init add underscore parser init comma help equals initialize a new empty repository arg sub parsers. Then we say arg sp add path. Did we finish that off? Yeah, quote comma chameleon. Command what? Cannot access attribute path for class get repositories, but that's not it. It's telling me 155 in command init repo underscore commit args path name error. repo create is not defined, but that's the repo create. Okay, repo underscore create. Okay, so the first time we mention your repository object, the constructor takes an optional force which disables all checks. That's because the repo create function, which we'll create later, uses a repository object. So now we're creating the repo create function. We're creating a repo create function. And that's here. Define repo create path. Until we're defining the repo create function. And this returns repo. So we return that output. So then here we are taking that output because it returns, it has a value, so then we're using that args.path. So what does it mean? But now it's command init is not. Is not defined. Command init args case init main track back most recent call cmd init, but they don't do anything else with cmd init. Command init is the first time we're calling that function. But it's complaining on line 30 at the very beginning that it's not defined. Oops, that's wrong. So it's complaining. Complaining that this is not defined. None of them are defined. Define main. Wait, did it? Okay, that does nothing. And then we start a class. So okay, now I'm curious. Where is it at? to create a folder. No, that's nope. Ooh, oh, I didn't mean to do that. YAG. I want to open. Let's open the OM. So they have the class up there at the top. Because not everything is in that class. So everything else is outside of that class. So I have my main function. Then I have my class. Oops, I don't want to highlight. Then I have my class. I have my init function. And then that's it as far as like that's it as far as like so init function, is that my problem? And we just shift that all over one. Control save. I mean, that got further along. Type error, join argument must be a string, bytes, or whatever. Okay. So let me just compare the rest of the format, because so we have our class. They have their class, right? It ends. Then these are their own that matches def repo dir. If repo directory. Else none, else return none. Then we have a repo create, return repo. Then we have, oops, that's too far. Maybe we want in with command init. Okay. We have the argument repo default config settings there. Then we have the argsp arg. So I should be adding it in the order, right, that they should say. Repo. I mean, for the format, that looks okay, mostly in line. So let me just open a new window. Cd YAG, and actually I want to go back one, and then I want to, what is it, YAG init test. Alright, so what is it saying? Join argument OS path join 72 repo path. argument must be string bytes or OS path like object, not int. The join. So that's, they don't mention this line. Oops. 72, no, 72. They don't mention this one. Return OS path. Wait, what? Okay. Repo path line 72. Returns path join. OS path join. Repo.getdir, comma, star path. $72, so what's 85? Path equals repo dir path equals repo, comma, star path. Okay, repo dir. Repo path. Join argument must be string bytes or OS path, not int. Argument must be string. Oops. What am I doing? Okay. See, and I thought this was be simple. Like what the heck did I miss for it to be complaining? I've probably been recording too long, so, and I need to eat. Okay, so we're gonna leave it there. Thanks for suffering through with me. I will figure this out, and whenever I come back to this and figure it out, I'll let you know what I missed. It's going to be something completely obvious. Um, but I'll go all through this and look and see what I missed and figure it out. And then the next time I record, since we did the init, um, creating repos with the init. Let's see, where were we? 3.2, we created repo file. Yeah, we got this repo create. We got the init command. That was what we finished. Now we need to do the repo find. We'll start with 3.3, the repo find, but I need to debug what I missed in this or what's happening for it to fail initializing the commit or initializing a Git repo. But that's it for today. Thank you. And yeah, let me know what you think. If you created this from yourself, retyping everything from scratch, let me know in the comments if what you ran into, if any issues. And I'll catch you next time. Peace.